Hello there friends, it's Marie here from Nicole Designs. I have a new video today showing the Simon Hurley new solar pastes. These are really fun, lots of ways you can use them, similar to the lunar pastes, but also very different. So here are a look at all of the colors that I have. Here is the lunar paste and the solar paste side by side. I won't really be showing the lunar paste today because I wanted this to be all about the new solar pastes. So I'm lining these up in color order: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. I do want to say that the yellow color is also sort of a gold color, so if you just wanted to start with one, maybe go with the goldish yellow, because I consider gold to be a neutral and you can use it on anything. Here are those pastes all swatched out. You can see how bright and shiny they are. I've also put this paste onto some dark cardstocks and then die cut them, so that's a really fun way that you can use these as well. Obviously, you can stencil them and do all of the pasty kind of stuff with them. Here's the cardstock that I die cut those branches out of. You can see how pretty that is, how shiny it is. It's actually over the top of dark cardstock. And using dark cardstock with these solar paste will make it shine a lot more. If you put it on white cardstock, it'll still show up, but maybe not quite as much. Here is a stenciled background that I did, just blending a few colors together. And here's an example of the solar paste on white cardstock. You get a subtle shine and some subtle color, so it would be great for a subtle background if you didn't want it to be too loud. I also experimented on putting some paste over some stamped images and just another background full of the solar paste. So there are many things that you can do with these solar pastes, but today I'm just going to be sharing one technique that I came across and I thought was really cool. So I took some of these solar pastes and I scraped them over a heavy piece of acetate. And I used a very thin layer with these pastes so that you could still kind of see through the acetate. And I ended up with this really cool piece of acetate that has an iridescent kind of shine to it. You can kind of see through them, but there's also that color there when you tip it in the light. And I'm going to show you a few ways that you can use this on your cards. So these are two little pieces here that I die cut, two hearts. I'm going to be popping one of these on that heart background that I just shared with you, and doing some other things. Now, I'm just sharing with you here what this solar paste is. I like to open it up. You can see that it looks sort of metallic on the inside. It doesn't really have the color that is on the bottle. So that kind of threw me off a minute when I opened these up for the first time. They all looked the same to me, so I didn't quite understand what was going on. But once you add them to paper, you can really see the different iridescent shines on each of these. So I'm putting some purple and some blue next to each other on white cardstock. And you can see on the white cardstock, it's a little bit hard to see. There is some iridescent shine. It will dry with some color, but it really shines when you put it on the dark cardstock or the black cardstock. So here are my colors swatched out again. These are actually dry, so you can see that where it's thinner, it has a lot more color, and where it's thicker, you have a lot more of that metallic-y kind of look to it. So there's a whole spectrum of colors. I think they're so pretty and shiny. I loved swatching them out. Now I'm going to share the way I did the acetate pieces. So I'm using a piece of thick acetate, and this is from Tonic Studios. I believe it's like 0.5. I don't know. I'm not even going to try to tell you what the thickness is, but I'll try to link it below in the description box. I'm going to cover this completely with some of that solar paste, and to help you guys see it on camera a little bit more, I put that acetate on a paper towel so that it shows up a little bit more. You can see where it is, and also helps with the cleanup. There is a little bit of cleanup with these pastes, just like any paste. I like to work on my glass mat. I like to keep baby wipes on hand, and I also take all of my equipment over to the sink to wash it out with warm soapy water right when I'm done. It's easier to wash it off when it hasn't dried yet. So there's a little tip for you. All I'm doing here is taking a little scoop of this solar paste out of each of the colors, and I'm keeping them in rainbow colors because we love that. And I'm scraping it onto my scraper in order here. You can see I'm putting a generous amount on the edge of my scraper here. The idea is I'm going to load up this scraper with all of the colors, and then I'm going to drag it across that acetate piece of acetate. And that's going to put a layer of this paste down on my acetate, and it's going to dry in a rainbow color, and it's going to look really pretty. I almost think it looks like a bubble. You know how they're kind of see-through, but they have that rainbow in them? That's kind of what it reminded me of. Now you can see here, I'm just dragging it across. I kind of did mix a few of the colors. I didn't keep it exactly where it needed to be, but it just adds to the rainbow effect of this. Now when I tip it in the light, you can see all those rainbowy streaks, and it does look a little cloudy right now, but it will dry more vibrant. So I'm going to take this off of my paper towel because on some other ones I did, it dried to the paper towel and it stuck to the paper towel, and that was kind of a pain. So if you're going to use a paper towel, take it off of the paper towel right away before it dries. So here is my piece of acetate that's got that rainbowy solar paste on it. It's still wet, and I should have moved it off to the side before I show you this next part, but I didn't. And I left it there. Now these little pieces here, they are dry. You can see how you can see that rainbowy iridescent shine through the acetate, and it just looks really cool. This little piece here, you can see has some splotches where it got stuck to the paper towel. And my thought now was to get some of these balloon dies. Yeah. I was popping them off the packaging, and it just flew right into the wet paste. So if you're working with wet paste, just move it off to the side and let it dry before you go on with the other steps, and you'll save yourself some heartache. But now that it's smudged, I just took my scraper and I went back over it. I smoothed it out, and then I did safely set it off to the side where it can dry without me messing it up again. So I'm taking these scrapbook.com balloon dies. These are nested balloons, so you have tiny ones all the way up to big ones. And I'm going to layer them on my rainbowy iridescent solar pasted acetate. And I'm going to put it through my die cutting machine. Now I am also using some shims. Now these are shims that you can get from Spellbinders. You can absolutely use paper as shim, and I've done that for a long time, but I went and I got these actual like plasticky kind of shims, and I really like them. So it's up to you if that's something that you want or not. But I put them on there to give a little extra pressure because with this acetate being thick, the dies do not cut all the way through. I have tried many ways to cut through this acetate and it doesn't. But what it does do is give you a good groove that you can get your scissors in and finish cutting. And it's really not that hard to cut it out, especially if you have already etched that die line into your acetate already. You just slide your scissors into that groove and you just follow it along and finish cutting it. And you have a really nice die cut shape here. Now, it would be hard to die cut out of acetate something that's really detailed because that would be a lot of fussy cutting, and I don't like fussy cutting. But hearts and balloons are easy, so that works with this technique. Now, after I had all of my balloons cut out, I wanted to make a fun background for them, so I'm just taking a little bit of blue Distress Oxide ink and inking up a spotlight area. And then I have this stencil here that is just a circle in the middle, and I put that down while I splattered some gold splatters on it because I wanted to keep the splatters in the spotlight area, and that really helped and worked for what I was going for. So just splattering them on, it's going to make a really fun, not a very complicated background, but something fun to layer my balloons over. So here are my little acetate rainbow iridescent balloons. I'm going to glue them together, and then I'm going to pop them up with some foam adhesive. Now, you are using acetate, so if you're using foam adhesive behind it, and even adhesive, like my liquid adhesive, you might see it through the acetate. So I tried to put my foam pieces behind the thicker parts where the balloons overlap. And when you look at it from the front, you really can't see very well all of those foam pieces, so it worked out okay. I took off the backing paper and I centered it on my little spotlight area, and I just pressed down to adhere it to my card. The birthday sentiment there is stamped using some stamps from scrapbook.com, and I'm going to add happy to that sentiment using a die cut happy word, as you can see there. Now balloons need strings, right? Or they're just going to float away. So I took a gold thread that I use for some of my stitching dies, and honestly I've just been using it for everything because it's pretty and I like it. But I am gluing it on the bottom of the balloons and cutting it off, leaving a little bit of extra, because what I'm going to do is wrap that string to the back and tape it down so that it looks like those balloons are floating up from somewhere, some celebration, some birthday celebration, and you have the backs of those strings adhered to the back of your card. Hopefully that makes sense. It's early here as I'm doing this voiceover. Now I'm putting a little dot of glue on the bottom of each balloon, and I'm using some dies from scrapbook.com and some glitter paper and this pickup tool from Pink Fresh Studios to add the bows to my balloons. And I think it just looks really cute. Really sparkly, really fun and festive, and I really like how this card turned out. Now, you can kind of see the solar paste on the balloons now, but it really stands out when you tip it in the light. So at the end of this video, I have some photos that shows the color better, and I have more photos over at my blog if you want to go over there and check it out. I also post lots of photos on my Instagram and my Facebook page. And if you just follow the link in the description, you'll find me in all of those places. So here I am taping those strings to the back of my card, like I told you earlier, and that kind of finishes the front of my card. I'm just going to mount it on a card base using some foam adhesive to pop it up, and that will finish this card. And I really like how it turned out. I thought those balloons were fun. I thought the iridescent solar paste on the acetate was kind of clever. Or, you can disagree with me in the comments if you thought it was a stupid idea. That's okay too. But let me know what you think, if you like this card or not. If you like the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I do sporadic videos here and there, and not as consistently as I used to because my life is busy and my kids like to do things like Little League and all of that stuff. But I do occasionally post a video. So there is the balloon card, but as promised, I'm going to make a card out of this stenciled background of hearts, and this is a Simon Hurley stencil. I thought that was fitting by using his Simon Hurley solar paste. I cut it down a little bit smaller than my card base, and I'm going to add one of these solar pasted hearts to the top of my heart background because you can't have enough solar pasted hearts, right? And I'm adding a hello die. Again, the die is from scrapbook.com. I'm putting a little bit of glue on it. I'm adding it over that little heart there, and that is going to be my sentiment. I'm on sort of a glitter paper kick, and I have been for years, and I don't think it's ever going to end because glitter paper just looks good on everything. So to hold that down while the glue dries, I put a little stamp block on it, and something was missing down on that heart, and it needed a bow. So I took some more of those bows from my bow die set, and I stacked them up. So this is a triple stacked bow with some adhesive in between each layer. So it's really dimensional, and I love it. And in my photos at the end, you'll see that I put a little rhinestone on the middle of that bow as well, and gave a little extra shine to this already shiny card. I'm putting some adhesive on the back of my heart, and I'm trying to keep the adhesive where the sentiment and the bow will cover it, so you don't see it through that acetate. And I'm just going to adhere it right to the middle of my stenciled background. Now I'm also going to pop this on my card base using foam adhesive, and that will finish the card. And it's really a simple design, but I love all the shine and I love that solar paste, and it just looks fantastic. So those are 2 cards, 2 ideas for you today. I did make a 3rd card as well that I will show you, and I have photos of. A very simple one, just using some of those die cut branches I showed you in the beginning. But that is the video for today, and that is a look at these new solar pastes from Simon Hurley. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it inspired you. Like mentioned, if you want to check out these products, I'll have links in the description box. I'll have links over to my blog where you can go find me and check out more. And I will also ask, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, share, tap the bell for notifications, and just do all the things. And I'll catch you guys next time. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.